Hi. 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 Oh.
Hello.
As you can see, my workshop is not in the best state. It needs a little bit of tidying up and rearranging, which I think is what I'm going to do today. And I thought maybe it would be fun for you guys to get a little bit more in depth of a view around how I organise my workshop, how it all comes together, I suppose. There's a lot of mess in here. Paint tins, as you can see in front of me, which normally aren't in the workshop, but I've been filming? I've been building or decorating the part where the camera is currently sitting, the little landing area, with some panelling, which I'll, through the magic of editing, I will show up on the screen, which is why there's some primer and paint in here currently. Yes, and there's also tools and what else? Rubbish that I just haven't cleaned up. I've just been a bit of a messy boy, to be honest. The last few months I've not been keeping on top of it, and I should have been, and that is my bad. You can kind of see the real state of the place. Yeah, not great. Testing stuff. Oh, don't want to show you those secrets. My bench is looking absolutely horrendous because I can never ever keep it tidy. I tell myself I will every time that I clean it up, and it never happens. What have we got here? So yeah, actually let's give you a bit of a tour, I suppose. So this is where I normally put stuff if I'm building a batch of pedals. You can see some Sonos down there. This is just where I got to keep that sort of stuff before it's like tested and packed up. I have a little like £15 Argos guitar amp that a friend gave me ages ago that I just use for testing, just to plug stuff in and make sure that it turns on and works, you know, just when I'm building anything. I have this big kind of rack here, which is like hardware stuff. Relatively organised, but so I've got some knobs up on this top row, some more knobs there, jacks, foot switches down here. Like, I call them like overflow bins, if you like. So opto couplers, capacitors when I buy in bulk, switches, pots, that kind of thing, because they don't all fit in the little drawers I'm about to show you. Packing tape, cotton bags, which is what all the pedals come in, post bags, obviously for, you know, the actual posting stuff, and then down here I've just got like a drawer of like miscellaneous stuff, which is old circuit boards, those like plastic poly, not Polly Pockets, that's not the right word, like filing binder things, postage scale, notebook, breadboard over there with something on. I don't even remember what that is. It's been sat there for months, so I don't even remember what I was prototyping. Up here I've got, this is where I kind of keep all the resistors, caps, transistors, ICs, op amps, everything really. Most of this stuff now, because we've moved to mostly SMD stuff on a lot of the circuit boards, which I'll show you in a second. A lot of the resistors, specifically resistors, and most of the caps are, I don't really use them anymore other than when I'm prototyping, so a lot of this stuff is more just for like when I'm prototyping new stuff. But then there's more kind of practical little things like down here, washers, jack nuts, pot washers, that kind of thing. The little bezels for the LEDs, the little rubber feet I put on the bottom, the grub screws for the knobs. So moving around, I have a little light, which is also a magnifying thing, which is quite cool when I'm modding SMD stuff. I have a tabletop solder sucker that you can hear now. Normally it's just a little carbon filter, but what I did was kind of went the extra mile and attached this piece of ducting to it, which runs all the way around. And kind of runs, so I could just, in the summer normally, or when it's not crazy windy, if I'm doing a lot of soldering especially. Over here I've got pots, relays, header pins, screws for the enclosures. What's over here? Oh, this actually. This is a really, probably one of the best tools I've ever bought. It's a little kit that I think is meant for people who repair phones. So it's got a load of like weird little screwdriver attachments that go down to like super tiny, like Phillips head and Allen key style things for repairing phones and getting batteries out and that kind of stuff. But it's actually been really helpful for building pedals because it's really good for like grub screws, that kind of thing. PCBs, so more bins. They have this kind of like stacked system that you can kind of build them and fit to any kind of space you've got. So yeah, this is where all the PCBs sit for the most part. You can see the cranium there. Again, I've not been massively tidy with that. My bin, which is looking very full. I really should have emptied that. Up here I've got tools like screwdrivers, wire crimpers, pens, that kind of stuff. Rocket sockets, I'm sure many of you will be familiar with that. Tony makes the rocket sockets, been really helpful, and I actually had someone 3D print this little holder that fits on this IKEA, whatever you want to call it, pegboard kind of system. Solder, these are the little stickers that go on the back of the pedal. They're like clear stickers that say like made in the UK. We don't put lead in any of our shit, that kind of thing. Stamps, which you can see is over time now making these drawers rather untidy and rather messy. What have we got down here? Knobs. I've got a massive pile of like extra knobs that I haven't really had anywhere to put. The ones in this bag are the ones that I'm selling on the site. There was a bit of a manufacturing error with a big batch of them, and instead of the kind of nice matte finish that the pedals normally have, they're more kind of glossy and shiny, which I don't really like. So I don't want to put them on the pedal. So if you order like one of the B stock pedals that we've got up on the site, these are the knobs that you'll get. These big boxes here that you can see down here are all full of enclosures. We order in bulk like once every couple of years, and then we do all the printing and machining. Gets done by other people in the UK. Oh, up the top here, you can see the rest of that ducting. It's not the tidiest thing, but this is just a workshop, so it doesn't really matter. Boxes, postage boxes. That is meant to have bubble wrap in it, but it just has an old shoe box in there at the moment. And then there's some random bits. I think this box here, yeah, it's got spray paint and stuff in, because as you'll remember last year, people who watched the video, I built that pink Telecaster. I actually bought enough to make like 3 guitars, so I've actually got a load of parts here that have just been sat here for, well, over a year now I think. So yes, I should actually get around to doing that at some point, and building another project guitar, but I just haven't had the time, and to be honest I haven't really had the want to do it either. Leaflets, this little holder that Maisie actually suggested I get, which is nice. Just a nice tidy way of storing a load of the leaflets for the pedals. So if you ever order a pedal, these aren't like full brochures or anything, but it's just like kind of at a glance, you know, here's what the pedal does. Here are some like either suggested settings, or in the case of these big ones, it just tells you like what the 8 modes on the big pedals do. Then if you get like for the Cranium, for example, it tells you what all the knobs do, and then like, oh, here's some settings you could, you know, try out like, to get you going. And then lastly, I had a couple of spare bits of OSB board left over from something. Oh, I think when I made the big pegboard in the other room, I might actually go and give you a little tour of that while I'm here. So I use this as a pegboard. What is wrong with me today? My brain. Pin board. Jesus. So schematics, modding stuff, my kind of crazy scribblings, this is what my brain kind of feels like all the time. For some reason I've written the word Shoreditch there, don't know why. Yeah, so this is just kind of my brain dump of like ongoing stuff that I've got moving around. A lot of this I could probably take down now, but I don't need to. Oh, and then this is a fun one. Oh, I need to be careful. Can't be showing you that name there because that would give things away. This is how I keep track of my very robust system of keeping track of serial numbers on the pedals. This is my little landing. That's the panelling I was mentioning earlier. Out here I have well, I just have a load of artwork all over the walls of these stairs. So yeah, like I said, this is the kind of loft space that I'm in. Oh, what do I have? I have a little wax melt, a little succulent there. What else we've got? Wi-Fi extender, my guitars, which more of them should be in that rack, but they're not, they're in here. Let's turn this on. This is also a bit of a mess. Whoa, 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 why are we strobing? Why are we strobing? Let's move that down. There we go. My very messy desk. I don't drink as much Coke as this, the cans being all over my desk would suggest. I've just been very messy, so this is probably like, I just haven't cleared my desk off in like probably 2 months, 3 months. So I've just been a bit of a pig, to be honest, and I should be better at that. Oh, passport there. Don't steal my information, please. Any videos that you watch are running through this little Vox MV50. I've actually got 2 of them, so when I do stereo stuff, I just record directly into GarageBand. Along here I have some shelves, and these are old prototypes of, well, I said not old prototypes, they're all the old versions of, sorry, I'm going to open the window again, so don't mind me if it's getting a bit jittery, I'm sorry. There we are, that bit of lighting. All the old versions of all the pedals, stuff that we've discontinued. I've tried, I think I've managed to keep one of everything over the years. So there's the old Exosphere, some of this stuff is upside down and out of place, and that's because my daughter loves moving it all around. Moving around, I have a sofa which is currently covered in guitars. Again, this is quite nice to just, I don't really sit on it really. It's nice to have as a background. It's nice if I ever have other people up here. Sometimes Maisie comes and sits up here. It's just nice to have a little space for some people to sit, covered in blankets and all that stuff. I have a little drawer. I actually made this. This is an old like filing cabinet, which I stuck some like hairpin legs on and a scrap of old kitchen countertop that I sanded down and waxed and turned it into this nice little unit. So this has got stuff like fretboard oil, strings, patch cables, cable ties, that kind of stuff. What's in here? Oh, just like miscellaneous like adapters, clips for like the light boxes. I think that's a MIDI. No, that's a microphone adapter. Yeah, more kind of cable organisation stuff. What's in there? Oh, that's just a couple of test boards and programmers and things. But I still need to dive into this experimental noise one. But yeah, so there's stuff in there. And then lastly, I mean, you'll have all seen this, I did a whole video on it. This kind of OSB pegboard thing that I made. Yeah, it's just like a nice little backdrop that kind of finishes off the room, just kind of lots of random plants and terrarium things and old oil cans and stuff from I've got some like old tools from, like I think this is Maisie's granddad's wallet. It's like a thing of cypress printed on it. This is an old, very, very old Spirit Level that I think was my granddad's. Yeah, just a couple of random bits like that. A very nice note that I had from a customer about a sono that I did a little watercolour drawing on. That was really cool. Yeah, again, just really old kind of like, I'm assuming this is like a paint scraper or something. Again, all stuff from like my granddad's old toolbox. Oh, this is actually really cool. This is my granddad's notes from when he was in the RAF. I don't know if engineer is the right word. I don't really know what his like official job was, but he kept these like absolutely perfect notes. I mean, look at that handwriting. Incredible. It's almost illegible because it's so like neat. But I almost can't read it. Yeah, like these incredibly well kept notes. I think there's a date on some of this stuff. Yeah, look. So the 13th of October 1941. Yeah, that's a fun little thing that my mum gave me, so I just like to keep that up there. Oh, and I've explained this before I think in a post, but some of you might not have seen it. Some of you might recognise these. Focus, come on, there we go. This etching, as well as this etching, as well as this etching here. It is the artwork from the Junipero, Duplo and Templo. They are actually original pieces of artwork. They're etchings from a book from like the late 1800s of some areas in Cuba. And I own, this is the original artwork, I own it, I bought it from a like an archive art place online, I can't remember the name of it, like they're called like Vintage Illustrations or something. But yeah, these are the original pieces of artwork which I kind of scanned in and modified to fit the look of the you know, the layout of the interface on the pedals. So yeah, that's cool. That's like a fun little thing that I've got, you know, kept these rather than just like graphics from the internet or stuff I've drawn or whatever. Yeah, so that's the rundown. I didn't expect to spend 20 minutes running through this, but what I should do actually is get back to tidying. Oh, Major's coming up. Are you sure you don't want to be on the video?
I don't want to be on the video.
Thank you. Oh God. I think after this many years, I'd know how to use this bloody... There we go. Oh God, my balance is crazy. Yeah, so there you go. Bit clean, nice, a bit cleaner. Sorry, I'm not just holding the camera, I'm holding the entire camera stand currently, so come on, focus on this thing, it's awful. Right, so that's that done. I need to turn my attention to this room now, so this one's not so bad, it's tidying more than anything, it's not that messy. I've tidied up and I've swept and whatever. It's probably been a while. I don't even remember the last time I did it, that I moved that sofa out of the way and swept up properly. So I'm dreading what's underneath there. It's probably going to be spiders. I don't like spiders. Well, there you go. There we are. It's clean. Well, relatively, anyway. As clean as it's going to get. Thank you for watching. I am sorry if you've had to stare at my pants for the last 20 minutes or so. I've been looking back at some of the footage I've been filming, and yes, clearly this t-shirt doesn't fit me. So yeah, sorry about that. If you happen to see any sensitive information around some of the letters that were on my desk that were to do with my mortgage and my passport, for example, please don't steal my identity and open up bank accounts in Monaco or Curacao or wherever, any other tax haven you can think of. Please don't do that. That would not be fun for me. Oh, if you also happen to see any other things that you shouldn't have seen, such as new pedal things that I've been working on, please don't talk to anyone about it. Just keep it to yourself. Hopefully this has been interesting. I mean, you've basically just watched someone do their chores on the weekend. So, yeah, hopefully it was it was interesting. But at least you got to see maybe more of workshop and stuff, you know, how this whole thing comes together, how the products get made, maybe. So yeah, thanks for watching. Feels like I'm doing a shitty stand-up routine. Let me know in the comments if you liked this, maybe this more like laid back, I suppose, type of content. And I'll see you next time.